This video is going to be a film study look at how the Seattle Seahawks defense was in attack mode Sunday against the Dolphins. Of course, they had to run out their backup quarterbacks, Skylar Thompson and Tim Boyle. Seattle was able to generate 6 sacks, 12 quarterback hits at home, hold the Dolphins to 205 total yards. Of course, Miami, their offensive staff, their players, their workflow, they missed Tua. It's quite obvious. Nonetheless, Seattle's defense deserves credit. Dominant win, 24-3. Holding Miami to 3.7 yards per play. Did all of those things while not forcing a single turnover. I think that's something to think about in terms of how well this defense is playing already, and they've only forced 3 turnovers thus far. All 3 occurred in the first game. Derick Hall led the charge on Sunday, 2 sacks, 4 quarterback hits. Tyrell Dodson, Dre'Mont Jones, Jaron Reed, Boye Mafe all had a sack apiece. So far through 3 games, Mike McDonald's defense, 11 sacks, 28 quarterback hits. I think they're allowing a little over 14 points per game. Let's get to the film so you can see how they were in attack mode early and often. This first one's going to be Dre'Mont Jones. Skylar Thompson does fumble the ball once or perhaps twice. This is first quarter. You're already up 10-0. 10 minutes into the game. Really overwhelmed Miami off the jump. These guys are playing downhill, all of them along the front line. I think they were hunting. I think they were searching for sacks. One thing to notice here, I think this is Rayshon Jenkins, who had 10 tackles. I may do a film study video about him later on in the week. Taking on the fullback, full charge. They're committed. I think I've said this a couple of times in other videos, that this defense is committed. They're sold out to do whatever Mike McDonald and the defensive staff ask them to do. Second quarter here, you're up 17-3 at this point. This is going to be Hall again. A more typical sack, less anomalous, if you will. He's got the tight end first, and then a pulling lineman trying to engage him. I'll give you the end zone angle just so you can check it out. But Hall is down here. Tight end's going to step to him. He's going to rip around, and then somewhere in this area, bend underneath of the second offensive lineman. Second-year player. He's got 3 sacks this year, I believe. Him and Boye Mafe, I think, are tied for the lead in terms of the Seahawks. But just playing through people, playing through contact in such a manner that he knows where he wants to go, and you kind of can't stop him from getting there. With the ability that they have with the interior defensive line, I mean, if their edge defenders can continue to play like this, Seattle's going to be a scary defense to play against. And look, this is a situation where Derick Hall misses his punch, and the tight end ends up into his chest, and then he's able to just swim over the top, play underneath the offensive lineman, get a sack. Like I said, that is second quarter. You're already up 17-3. Really, at this point, probably as a Seahawks fan watching the game, you didn't think so. But upon rewatch for me, again, only watching the defensive snaps, I was like, this game is over. Really at the end of the first quarter. The ensuing possession, Boye Mafe is going to get in on the action. It's going to be a 3rd and 11, 3 minutes left in the second quarter. Going to run around the left tackle who false started. Mafe got a late start as a result. We're talking about up here. Penalty thrown. It ended up being declined, obviously, because the sack created a loss of 8 yards. It's a weird situation where all these guys are getting a later get off, particularly Mafe, and then he does get into his move. He's trying to do like some type of Euro step. I'll give you the end zone angle so you can see it. He's got 3 sacks already this year. I think he's playing an extremely high level. Only had 1 sack yesterday and 2 quarterback hits. Threatening the nickel blitz off the edge with Witherspoon. Maybe that's why the tackle was trying to get out there so quick. Mafe just runs by him and rips underneath. And then when the quarterback has to press out, look, getting receivers open was part of the issue. People call them coverage sacks if you want to. They're all sacks that count, number 1. Number 2, the coverage is assumed to be linked to the blitz. So there's times where guys are in a particular coverage alignment or leverage because they know the blitz. They know how many rushers are coming. Basically, if there's 6 rushers that are chasing after the quarterback or designed as part of the rush, you as a defensive back or a secondary player know you don't have to cover for as long. Untimed down here at the end of the second quarter, I believe. You can see, and this is all 22 angle, but I did this just so you could see how far back all these guys are. Of course, like I said, it's untimed, and it's another sack by Hall. He's at the bottom side of the screen. They're pulling an H-back to deal with him. Thompson was pissed off that the ball wasn't snapped initially, and just no awareness, ends up being a forced fumble. Really huge hit by Hall. He's a physical specimen, him and Boye Mafe. Big, strong guys out there on the edge, and they're athletic. They get Uchenna and Wosu back. Really a great rotation there, if you ask me. From a physicality standpoint, I think Nwosu is probably the most refined of the pass rush guys between those three, with the other two being, my guess would be a little bit bigger, thicker, and possibly stronger overall. We're now into the third quarter. This is going to be a slightly different type of sack. This is a read sack by Tyrell Dotson on the 3rd and 2. Again, you're still up 17-3. Look at the interior alignment of the defensive linemen. They were in a goal line look. 2 edge defenders, 1 inside linebacker, 4 interior D tackles, trying to keep Dotson clean to make the tackle. Play action, and he reads out of it immediately. Just no time for Thompson to get the ball off. This is early third quarter before he got replaced by Boyle. You have a cut block out on the edge. It looked kind of dangerous on Boye Mafe as well. End zone angle of the same play. Cut block is going to occur from the fullback out on Mafe in space. Not sure if you'll catch it from the end zone angle. But Dotson recognizes that the quarterback still has the ball. He's already committed. Just go. Ends up getting the sack. I thought there was a couple of times on these sacks where it looked like Thompson was going to fumble the football. He only, I guess, fumbled it that one time or perhaps twice on the same play. I don't know if you can be credited with 2 sacks on the same play. Jerron Reed got into the action here. We're late fourth quarter. This will be the last one. 3.5 minutes left. Seahawks trying to get in the right look. And there is a penalty here. I think it's on A-Chain or H-An for a low block on the blitzing inside linebacker right here. He goes low while the inside linebacker's already engaged. I will give you the end zone angle of this one. But Reed discards this right guard. Just basically he's running him back to the quarterback. Grabs on, just discards him. Perhaps the guard's feet got entangled with A-Chain or H-An. I don't know, but in either case, it's an impressive play to be able to just disrupt the guy. He did. It looks like underneath here, you can see their feet are entangled, so that made it easier, I guess, for him to dump him. Ends up being the Seahawks' 6th sack of the game. Truly a dominant performance to sit and watch the defensive film in isolation. And when I say watch it in isolation, I mean with no sound, because it's the all-22 or the end zone angle. You're faced with the proposition that they're really athletic, and they're playing downhill in the front 6 or front 7, whether it's their base defense or their nickel look. Multiple variations of the guys playing nickel, playing outside corner. The fact that you can move Devin Witherspoon around, I think, is pretty incredible, that he can play so well at outside corner and at nickel defender. So far, through 3 games, allowing 14.3 or 14.4 points per game, I believe, 11 sacks, only giving up 132 pass yards per game. Really ridiculous, if you ask me, start to the season for Mike McDonald's defense. And the thing that's amazing about it is they have only forced 3 turnovers, and all 3 of those came in the first game against the Broncos. So if this defense is able to start turning people over occasionally, maybe once a game, sometimes more, with the physicality and the speed and tenacity that they're playing with, the potential is off the charts, if you ask me. They're already at 26% in terms of third down conversion percentage. There's other teams that are ahead of them, but it's a great number. In fact, I think third down conversion percentages are down for offenses across the league in 2024, but I haven't seen all the data come out after the Week 3 games. In any case, let me know what you guys think of the video. I will have something out on the Seahawks coverages a little bit later in the week, probably Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday evening, something like that. If you have a film study video suggestion, please let me know in the comment section. I considered doing something on the Seahawks run game because Zach Charbonnet was able to get free and generate some yards on the ground this week compared to the previous week against the Patriots. Appreciate you guys' time, man. If you think other Seahawks fans would enjoy this film study video, this look at how the pass rush was just able to utterly overwhelm the Dolphins on Sunday, then please consider grabbing a link to this video, sharing it out on social media to help this content get more reach.